Peace, YouTube. Hello, hello. Can you guys see me, hear me? Sometimes I don't know if I'm on. Oh, wait a minute. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Check out it. I know it's been a while. I'm not going to stay on this long, too long, but hopefully you can hear me because obviously this message, whenever I come on, it's to blow spots. So at this point, I don't even know if I'm on here. You can see me? Can you guys say anything? Okay. You can see? Okay. Hey, everybody. Peace. Loud and clear? Okay. I'm in the car, so I didn't know. Peace to the east, the west, north, and the south. This is FleurBrun coming to today. I know I've been away for a while. Check on him. I miss YouTube. You know, YouTube was messing with me, so I was striking YouTube because, I mean, you know, I've been on a long time. They always messing with me. But I thought this is an important message. And then, you know, I always give my predictions for 2024, and they are amazing. So I will probably give my predictions maybe on, you want to get, are you dumb? I love your name is everything. Your name is like the reason why I come on YouTube. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. You are like everything. Keep it. I mean, because what I say is like, are you dumb? Oh, shoot. Yo, this dude is mad close. Anyway, check on in. So, you know, YouTube was giving me crazy just shade. So, but I like to come on and blow spots. So I know people are asking about my 2024 predictions. It's off the chain. It is going to be absolutely mind blowing. You know how I do it. So I think, you know, because I have my Rumble too. I think I'll do it on Rumble or I doubt I'll do it on YouTube. You guys can always go to the Rumble because the Rumble's free. You can always go there. Or I'll have to do it here and then save it and then put it on the Rumble. I don't know. So I'll do my I didn't pierce my lips. It's not real. It's not real. You know I don't pierce anything. I don't put holes in my body. Not purposefully. You know what I mean? Big and beautiful. Your names are, wow, I know it's been a long time, right? I've got my Starbucks, y'all. You know, I fell off the wagon. I just got back to the country not too long ago. So, you know, sometimes I fall off the wagon. So, yo, these dudes are so close to me right now. It's crazy. It's like the NPCs are ridiculous. Like, as soon as I get on here, I got a nice private spot for y'all. Yo, and this dude is like right up on me. Get down on it. Why is it two of them? Like, you can't do stuff on your own, homie? Yo. The simulation is off the chain. Anyway, oh, and there's somebody. Oh, shoot. People on my left and right. Yo. This is crazy. Nobody was in the cars next to me. Oh my God. The NPCs are out of control. Y'all, I'm going to blow a spot. So, peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. This is FleurBrun coming to you today. I will do the 2024 predictions. Maybe here, maybe on Rumble. I'll put it up on Patreon after. If they delete it, because, you know, YouTube is the biggest hater right now. Let me give a shout out to my haters. And the NPCs are off the chain. Let me give a shout out to my haters, because, you know, they like to make up stuff and they love me. Let me give a shout out, because, you know, the haters are probably the first ones in the room. Let me get a shot, and let me give a sip to them and let them know I'm back on my, you know, my poisonous elixir. Let me give a sip to the haters. I know you like me. I know you pretend like you hate me, but people who hate someone like YouTube, you act like you hate me. And anybody who comes on here, you like to hate on me, but why are you here? Like, why are you sweating me? Why are you jocking me? Look, they beeping. Look, the NPCs are out of control, y'all. Oi, do the bang, do the bang. They sweating me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They talk smack about me. They always got something to say. Yo, this dude is like up in my grill. Oh, he's looking mad shady. Yo, hold on, y'all. The NPCs are out of control. I got all these men. Nobody, listen. This dude's got a shirt said F you. Yo, it's out of control, y'all. Out of control. Let me give a sip to my haters. They just get mad when, haters, you come here, you sweat me. You come to my videos, you act like you hate me. Why do you watch me? Why don't you go to one of the other fake channels and listen to them talk about whatever? Why you because you really rocking with me. You really sweating me. You know what I'm saying? You really sweating me. Let me take a sip for you. Oh my God. Oh. I am so antagonistic. Let me give a shout out to you Capricorns. Thank God you came in, because you know Sagittarius, we are the most triggering, antagonistic, truth-bearing sign there is. But I like to, you brought the ice back to MYE at Mar-a-Lago. What up, spiritual being? What up, Marigold? Okay. Check on it. No one knows I'm here. So should I wait until more people check in and keep triggering the haters? Let me trigger the haters. Haters, you like to go to old videos and talk smack about me when you really like the biggest Agent Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you just go and disappear? You know what I'm saying? St. Lucia's in the house. What's good, St. Lucia? Okay. I'll wait until a few more people check in. Capricorn, what up? What up, Capricorns? What up, y'all teeth? Capricorns in your house, you amazing, freaking stern, business-minded, money, get that cash roll coming on. Y'all, listen, whenever I want something done as far as fiscal, monetary, or business-wise, I go to a Capricorn. Y'all about that life. You know what I'm saying? There isn't any shade. Capricorns are stern. Only thing is that when y'all get upset, your stomach really bothers you. That's the only thing. So y'all got to chill out sometimes and take some papaya extract when you really get upset. But other than that, Capricorns, y'all are absolutely the most sturdy out of the signs. You really are. You know, when I talk smack, a Capricorn just looks at me like, Hold on, y'all. Let me put some lip gloss on. My lip gloss be popping. I'm waiting for more people to check in, because normally I don't go in here, and I just wanted to blow a spot because I think everybody's under mind control. And look, how do you put lip gloss on when you have a fake lip ring? Just like this. Big up to me. I just came back from Mexico, y'all. Big up to my Mexicanos. Yo, they be talking smack about y'all, but I think it's just hateration, because out of all the places in Central America, y'all are the smartest. You have the most common sense out of all of the places in Central America. No shade to everybody, but I gotta give shout out, because Mexicans are talked about really disparagingly like Haitians, but I really think the hate is coming because y'all have something that others don't have. A lot of places are really unconscious. Mexico, y'all got it. When I go into Mexico, I can talk to someone seemingly unconscious and they're still above the average in most places. Still. So I want to give a shout out to the Mexicanos. y'all got it going on. I do. And don't listen to the haters, because you come from a bloodline that's very powerful, like the Haitians. And I think the hate that's being promoted towards you is really a projection thing. So don't listen to the others, please. And please don't fight with the Brownings, the brownies over here in the United States. don't fight with them, because they probably one of your biggest supporters. They, they got, oh, look, this guy stopped behind me. Yo, I may have to bounce, y'all. They got the government. The government everywhere. Yeah. Mexico is a developed country, whereas the rest are third world country. Yo, Mexico is the bomb. And every time I leave the United States, I get my health back. Yo, you love coffee? Babyface, me too. And I fell off the wagon, but I'm only off the wagon for a while. So check on in. I'll wait until, darn, nobody knows I'm on here. I'll wait until a couple more people check in and we'll get into the topic. I like to antagonize the haters because they come on here. They're the first to come on here. They really love me. They're really jocking me. They sweat me. That's why they come here. You know what I mean? Because if you didn't like somebody, like if I don't like you, I don't come to your channel. You really like me. You really do. And you hate that I say it to your face. Yes. Big up to the Capricorns. Capricorn season is making me feel really spicy. You have tried the new they got pistachio latte? Oh, Leo Nix, you should have never said that. This person was like, I can't believe you're drinking Starbucks because they represent Israel. First of all, I'm not going to start the topic until everybody comes in. Let me explain something, y'all. I don't really care what's going on. I don't support any country. Oh, they support Israel. I don't represent the United States. Do you understand we're living in the United States? What makes you think I have any loyalty to any? I don't care. I really don't care. I don't have a leg in the race. You know what I'm saying? United States has done more disparaging things than any other country. I really don't. Listen, it's me taking a stance on not going. Now, if it's something extreme and I feel it's connected to me personally, by all means, you may see me do things, but I'm really neutral. If I like to drink something, I'll drink it. You know what I mean? If I like to do something, I'll do it. As long as I'm not personally hurting or participating in anything, I really don't care. So please stop it. If you don't want to drink Starbucks, that's on you. I don't drink it all the time because it's poison. And sometimes, I just need a little poison in my life. I do everything else right. Okay. You know what I'm saying, Leo Nix? They always hating on me. They call me a racist. First they call me, I was a trans frog. Yo, listen, since I've been practicing my trans frogism, ribbit, I've really been getting some perks from being a frog every once in a while. I only become a frog like when I go somewhere where I can get some perks. I'm only a trans frog where it helps me. Anyway, can I start the topic? All right. Nobody's here. Should I start here? Usually when I come on, I know they didn't, do you guys want me to start or should I wait for more people? I'd like to start, but I want to, maybe I should wait. Because usually when I start the topic, people are like, oh, FleurBrun, maybe I'll wait. Anyway, I'll be on Zoom tonight. We're going to be on Zoom. I'm going to do the 2024 predictions probably. I'll maybe have it out Sunday or Monday. You want me to wait? I'll wait. Yeah, so how's everybody been? Did everyone enjoy the holidays? Did you celebrate the fake Gregorian New Year's? It's not 2024 yet, right? That's all cap. It's not 2024. It's still 2023. And first of all, we don't even know if it's even 2023. It might be a whole nother, it might be like 1,245. It's not even 2024. People are celebrating 2024. It's not even there. We're not even there. It's not even a New Year's. New Year's isn't until actually just legitimately April 1st. That's why they call it April Fool's Day, because only the fools believe that it's the year begins in the middle of winter. That's insane. That's mental illness. They're projecting mental illness on everyone. People, 2024, they do all their New Year's resolutions and all that craziness. Why don't you wait until spring? Because that's really when New Year's begins. The end of March. Look, they're beeping. Yeah. So it doesn't begin until April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. Yeah. So, just know that if you celebrate, you're celebrating in vain. If you want to do anything as far as, metaphysical, you should do it when the actual year begins, not when they say it begins. Everything listen, United Fix is a liar. Everything that they've taught you, all forms of education, forms of mind control. We're going to go into the 1980s, okay? And I wanted to wait until at least, because I haven't been on a while, maybe at least 400 people come in. If not, I'm going to start in about 5 minutes. Oh, your little one, your 8-year-old said, let's skip 2024. It doesn't exist. Oh, see, the little ones know. What do you know? You little light worker. Little ones know. Those are the newer beings that came to the planet. So there's a lot that we have to talk about. I'm not going to talk about everything. I wasn't supposed to stay on long, y'all. I'm parked. I'm drinking. I'm hiding in a car like an addict, drinking my Starbucks, antagonizing the haters. Okay. And even when I say, when I said, when you look at just the 1980s, I'm going to talk about something that they did that's dastardly, and it's why you're hearing 1980s music. I'll wait a couple more minutes because when I start, I won't be able to stop. So, there's a lot of forms of activated mind control that's happening now. And I want to really say, Idaho, Wisconsin, all you places that are middle America, they coming for you. And they got y'all surrounded. That's really ashamed. Yeah. It's really sad. You saw what happened, right? In Idaho, right? And with the Idaho, that happened in the school. What was the school's name? The Panthers. What was the school's name? Something Panther. The school that just had a mass shooting. A month ago, was it 3 months ago? They called in and said, if you got to look for it, it's crazy. They had investigated that there was going to be a shooting. They had investigated that someone said there was going to be a mass shooting, and they ignored it. They said they looked into it, they ignored it, and guess what? It happened just today. So it's really sad. So, my heart goes out for, I don't know. I didn't look into the details, but, a lot of false flags, a lot of assassinations and murders and setups and psyops are coming to a neighborhood near you. So, keep on your toes. The NPCs are really on fleek. The NPCs are working overtime. You got the AI system really remember, we're going through reset. It is pole shift time. So you've got the mind control programming on high. You've got everyone, you got everybody went in for their remember, because you can go to your grocery store right now and get the grocery store said that you can go in and get 15% off your groceries if you get the flu shot, the pneumonia shot, and an extra cucaracha shot, and they'll throw in a shingle shot just for a good measure. And you got all these people going out getting their shots because they want 15% off. That's why you can't trust anybody who would sell out anything for just 15% off their groceries. Just for 15% off their groceries, they will shed all over you. That's why everyone's got the forever coughs. Okay? This video, listen, I don't want to purple pill you so early because we're waiting for the topic. I'm just going to wait 5 more minutes and then we're going to start on the 1980s. And then, because I don't want to purple pill you today. It's too early. Oh, Walmart now offers affirm payments. What's that? What's an affirm payment? What's that? What is that? Affirm payment? What does that mean? You pay over time? What? What does that mean? Oh, it's a credit card loan. They're giving loans at Walmart. I'm sorry. So it's so bad that people got to take loans to shop at the cheapest, most diabolical store in the world, which is basically going to be used as FEMA camps to hold people in hostage when they don't take their cucarachi shots for the 20th time. And I already showed you what they did with the medical, which is so slick. They put in new amendments to the medical. So if we're in war or presumed war, remember it said declared war or not declared war, which is basically saying whenever. Oh my God. This hologram is really out of control, y'all. This simulation is going rogue real quick. All right, y'all, I'm going to start the topic. Cheetos on layaway. Green Eye Crow said Cheetos on layaway. I can't. Y'all are ridiculous. Cece's Pizza started the facial recognition. You shouldn't be eating at Cece's Pizza. 4 digits on your phone number. Oh my God. All right, y'all. I can't. It's so diabolical. It's hilarious. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, when you think you're getting punked? I think the whole simulation is punking us right now. Okay? My skin is like red. Oh my God. Okay, so let's get into the topic. So I found out, everybody, it was through another YouTuber, and I think it was a TikToker. I never know, because we get to the zombies. They kind of put me up on this, but come to groceries and inflammation central killing people. Oh Lord. Had to put my groceries on layaway. Oh darn, Sean. Sean said it. Oh my God. I can't. Y'all, stop. Come on, you're gaslighting me. I can't. I can't. Y'all, okay, hold on. I gotta be serious. Okay, let's get in the topic. Because YouTube may take down this video. I never know what YouTube is on my butt, is up my butt so badly. Like, I don't know if they'll take the video down. They like to gaslight me. So let me get it in. And I'm on other platforms, so they could kiss my rascals. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the 1980s mind control programming with the music that's being reactivated every time you walk in a place. Now, remember when I was in Brazil, like, this was 2018. This is before the whole cucarachi diabolicalness. Remember I was saying that wherever we go, we're hearing 1980s music, and it didn't make sense, right? Like, we would go into stores. Even now, you'll go into stores and you hear the whole 1980s. You'll hear songs from the 1980s, and it's everywhere. And it doesn't matter if you're in the country here or you're in another country, because it was happening when I was in Brazil. It happened when I was in Colombia. It happened when I'm in Mexico. It happens when I'm in the States. It happens when I'm in Canada. Wherever I go. Did it happen? The Bahamas, it happened. Where else was I in the last couple of years? Been to so many places in a couple of years. In Panama, it happened. So it's happening all over. So at first we were like, maybe they're throwing us into a loop. Like, it's really a time loop. Okay. So yes. But what happened is that I found out why they're doing it. It is a tone frequency that is literally linked to a mind control programming. They play the music, and at that time there was a type of they were putting people in a mind control in the 80s. Like, they were using multiple programs to put people under a spell, whether it's a form of lulling someone, like a lullaby, into sleep mode. They had put people into a mind control. So what happens is that whenever you hear the 80s music, you're being lulled into that mind control programming. And you say to yourself, well, what if their young people weren't born then? A lot of us from Generation X are like born in the 80s or late 70s. I think even Generation X, I think it goes into the 60s, right? I think in 1969, aren't they Generation X too? I think they're Generation X as well. if you weren't born, then you say, well, how could it affect the youth if they weren't even there to pick up the frequency of that mind control programming? It doesn't matter, because it's in the cellular memories of their mothers and fathers, their big sisters, their cousins. Once you have the programming embedded in the cellular memory, it is dispersed in the offspring. So even at the same point now, I love the 80s music. Remember, because it's just in my generation. So we had a lot of great music, but the first forms of mind control, as far as putting that into frequencies and changing the megahertz, was really deeply embedded in the 1980s music. And they put it in there knowing. That's why, and how I know is the music in itself, when you hear it, it puts you in a certain mind state, almost like it takes you into a beta state. So it makes you more susceptible to other forms of frequency attacks. So whenever you hear the mind control programming of 1980s, you got to be very mindful that it's almost like a frequency that opens up your field for frequency attacks, and it can attack your adrenals, it can attack your fertility, it can attack your mind. It basically it opens you up to be attacked physically. So every time you walk in a grocery store, and Walmart, since you were just talking about Walmart on layaway, Walmart is the biggest proponent of using this frequency music, this musical frequency, and music. If you look how I spelled it, y'all, it says sick. Sick is in the word. You got to be very mindful that when you hear certain music is making you sick. They tell you sick. It's making you sick. So when you hear the frequency of the 1980s, I had to make this because I was like, everyone is getting triggered, and people are having the forever coughs. And you got everyone going in for their 15% off at the grocery store, trying to get every shot in the world. Flu shot, pneumonia shot, AIDS shot, everything. Like, they got some wild looking people here. NPCs, y'all. They trigger the NPCs whenever I talk about something. So that, it's like, they're NPC because they look straight at me. They shouldn't even see me. Okay. So basically you have them weaponizing your music. They're using the 1980s mind control programming to lower your field, your energetic field. And it's making you susceptible to frequency attacks, toning frequency attacks. So what happens is that you got all this 5G, these towers all over the place. You got satellites set up all around this firmament, all inside the firmament. Like, basically you've got all of the underground, while you were inside your house during Kugarachis, they were doing all that construction, putting all of the fiber optics underneath the ground and basically sending out signals now. So now, if some of you remember people walking their dogs in New York City? Do you remember that? And they were walking their dogs and the dogs were getting electrocuted on their little paws. It's so sad. Do you guys remember that? Does anyone remember that? You guys do? The little dogs. It was like a little span of time. It wasn't that much. It was like a small span of time. The dogs, and they reported it for a second and then they took it off. That was what was happening. They were putting all of this new technology underneath the ground, these fiber optics. And what happens is that it's pumping up a frequency. So not only are you being frequency assaulted from the sky, all of these freaking weaponized towers all over the place. Now, first of all, you got to think to yourself, when could a phone company have that much power to put all of these weaponized frequency weapons, which are the towers all over the place? How do they have more say than the community? Like back in the days, you could go to your community, your community gatherings, right? And you could say, listen, we're not okay with you putting these new towers. It could cause health issues. It's the same reason why people don't live close to transponders, like, huge, yards of transponders. There's a reason why houses next to those transponders are like 50 to 60% less than houses that are away from them. Okay. Now, how do you know that it's really going to impede you? Is that something happens to the birds. We talked about the fact that in 2011 was the first time the blackbirds fell from the sky in Arkansas. You guys remember that, right? You guys are so concerned. This is not a real piercing. Look, my lips are fine. Okay? It's not real. I don't put holes in my body. Okay? I know it bugs you out. Does it bother you that it's on my lip? Does that hurt? Does it hurt you watching me? Oh, yeah. If it bothers you, I'll take it off. It's an energetic thing. Okay? It's not real. Okay, so in 2011, there was the first time the blackbirds fell out of the sky, right? In 2011 in Arkansas. Now, some of you have been with me for a long time, so you know I've been on YouTube for a long time, and before that, you heard me a lot on the radio. So 2011, the blackbirds fell from the sky in Arkansas. Okay, so that's the first time it was reported. And people said, oh, it could be the fireworks at New Year's. Maybe it was something that bothered them. Maybe it was, maybe it was like something, they said it was fireworks. That's how the news reported it, that they thought it was fireworks or something shocked them, right? Okay, so let's go 2012. Same time, January, same year, same time of the year. Again, blackbirds fell from the sky. Now, big up to Alex from my group in Zoom. Big up to Alex. Alex is like a masculine M. I've got two of the most amazing people on my Zoom. He mentioned something that was interesting because it was only affecting a specific type of bird. A specific type of bird. Okay, so sometimes you think to yourself, because even like my mind, I reported this so many times, but he was absolutely right. Why did it only affect one species of bird at the time? Now, we had that happen in 2012 as well. 2013, we had the same occurrence with birds falling from the sky, right? So now you have the blackbirds being connected to the first frequency assault that was affecting specifically blackbirds. Yes, and the blackbirds, because they have a lot of melanin, they pick up the frequencies a lot more. Now, I'm going to bring something up that's controversial. When did the natural hair movement begin? Can you guys remember that? Can anyone remember the natural hair movement when it began? I don't know the date, so I want to kind of build, but I want to make sure I'm right. Can anyone look up quickly when I'm talking about the brown women, when the natural hair movement began? Can someone remember? I don't remember. I remember, 2009 to 2010. Why do I bring that up? You do know that hair is an antenna, right? Well, the 60s, yes, but hair is an antenna, right? I haven't been able to fully link it 2016. See, I thought it would be 2016, 2017. That sounds more like what I'm bringing up. The 60s was right, but the 60s was something different. So I'm bringing up like more recently. Okay. Hair is an antenna, right? So it means that whenever you have, your hair will pick up frequencies, right? It'll pick up frequencies in the sky. I think that though people believe, because remember, anything that they're promoting and propaganding, there's an agenda to it, and it isn't something that's positive for us. The natural hair movement in itself, though it appeared to be positive, everything is psyoped in this hologram, in this simulation. Everything is hijacked. There isn't anything that's naturally occurring as far as propaganda. If it is mass projected and promoted, it is definitely coming from the AI propaganda system. Mostly Willy Wonka and his League of Doom have a reason why they're promoting that. Now, when it comes to hair, you do know, like, I'll use an example, which is a great example. I love this story. So when the Europeans came into, I think it was Central America. I think it was Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. Some of you can remind me if I'm correct. I think it was Mexico. I know it was the natives that were in that area. It could have been, I think it was Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So at the time, there were some Europeans that came in, and they used to have these natives that were trackers, right? And the natives kept their hair long, right? They didn't cut their hair. So they kept their hair long. And the men would go out and they could track in the night. They didn't need to have their eyes, fully, like they could go at night and they didn't need any lighting. Like they can go and track in the night. And what they notice is that it could be Canada too. You guys, can you look that up and fact check me? I want to make sure I'm correct. I don't know where it was. I know it was one of the native groups. It could be in Canada. It could have been in Central America. I hate when I don't remember specifically where it was. I know the story, but I just forgot the region. Anyway, so they had the native men tracking, and they would have them track at night, right? So what they noticed is that when the Christians started to indoctrinate, because, no one blames Christianity, but Christianity were like the biggest indoctrinators. I mean, in Canada and all these different places, right? So when the Christians had started to cut off the natives' hair or incentivize for the natives to cut their hair, the trackers couldn't track anymore. They lost their sense of balance and they weren't able to go in the night and find things anymore, right? So hair in itself, their hair, like a cat's whiskers, it didn't only create balance or level their equilibrium. It literally was, it enhanced their ability to be able to have extra sensory in their environment. Okay. So, this is important for this conversation, because what happens is that when they promoted the natural hair movement, I personally, this is what I think. And I know that I'm right to a certain degree. There's probably more to it. When they promoted the natural hair movement, they started to put up these weaponized towers all over the place. Cell phones became a big thing. Wi-Fi started to be more promoted. And what happened is that when women started to wear their natural hair, they were more susceptible to being frequency assaulted, because the hair could naturally pick up the frequencies. So their hair was picking up the frequencies. And you say to yourself, FleurBrun, why would you demonize? I'm not. I'm just talking about fact. Just like the whole veganism thing, I don't think it was negative that people ate natural, healthy, raw foods. I actually think it's healthy to balance your body out, especially your meridians, when you're eating too much acidic food. Like if you're eating a lot of meat of death and, flesh, and you're eating animals that have been traumatized. Also, the beef has been pumped with all kinds of hormones and vaccinations. Of course, that is unhealthy. And when they were promoting veganism, that in itself, separated from the government or the Willy Wonka systems or propaganda, was healthy to balance out. Like if you ate too much meat, it's good to go on a fast and actually recalibrate your body by taking in more alkaline foods. But being too alkaline can also throw off your meridians too. So I think it was healthy in itself when people did it organically. When the government and social media started to promote it, that's how you knew it was psyoped. Just like the natural hair movement. I personally think when they pumped out the natural hair movement, it's because they put all this weaponized frequency machines around, and they knew a way to incept into the biosphere was to go to promote natural hair movement. Women would wear their natural hair and they would be susceptible getting all these frequencies. And because the frequencies had been hacked, it left the women susceptible to being infiltrated. That's what I think. And I think that's why they promoted the natural hair movement. I don't think they did it for our health. I don't think they did veganism for our health. They did it to psyop, because even when they weaponized the fruit and vegetable, you do know that they put all kinds of chemtrails and everything that was leaching into the soil and was being pulled in along with the oxalates that was messing with people's body. So now people are eating a lot of greens and everything. They're getting a lot of oxalates, and then they get a lot of health issues. Okay. So these bastards were literally utilizing something that was supposed to be healthy for us. And listen, in a natural world, in a way that our hair is supposed to be natural. Our hair shouldn't be tampered with. Our hair hooks up the frequencies around us so that we can deal with our environment, and we're able to, it actually balances out our meridians. What I'm talking about now is the 1980s. They created a signaling, a a Hertz that was weaponized. And what they did is they're doing a loop of the Hertz in every grocery store, every department store you're going and you're hearing the 1980s music because it has that frequency assault loop. And it's basically putting people under mind control. Then they're promoting for us to leave our frequencies, our hair out to pick up all the frequencies. And this is where I know that that's why they made sure the Jewish women shaved their hair before they put on their, like when they get married, a Jewish woman, if she's Orthodoxy or a Sidai, when she gets married, she shaves off all her hair, just like a nun does under the habit. She shaves off all her hair and then she starts to wear wigs. Because I thought to myself, the Muslim women, the women of Islam do it too, but they don't cut their hair. And I was like, why would they do that? Why are they shaving? Because my thing is, if anybody, big up to the Jewish women in here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking to myself, why would they make them shave their hair and then wear wigs the exact same texture as their hair? What did they know about hair? Why did they do that? And you got to ask yourself the question, because the Jewish population knows certain things that are happening before they happen. You cannot tell me any different. That's why the government has a lot of Jewish people. The banks have a lot of Jewish people. They know a lot of things before it happens. Even with 9/11, they knew when it was going to happen and they cleared out. So they know a lot of things, especially that population who is more Ashkenazi, meaning the Eastern European Jews. Why did their women shave their heads? And then ding, 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 it hit me. When you have these frequency weapons and they're being pushed out there, it will pick up in your hair and you'll pick it up and you digest the frequency so that you can basically work with your environment. It lets you know what you should eat. It actually is supposed to bring in frequency so we can register what we do in the environment. Our body picks it up. But what happened is that I think they knew that there was going to be some sort of frequency assault. So they created a practice, because not all Jewish women do that. Not all. Because if you look in itself, like you look at the actual, the more Sephardic Jews who are from Yemen, from Ethiopia, from Turkey, from Morocco, Spain, those weren't things that I think they did previously. So any of my Jewish family, you can let me know if that's true. Because I found it interesting that group did similar things to the women of Islam, but the women of Islam all covered their hair. Whereas it was different with the Jewish women who were the Asidai. It was totally different with them. They didn't do this. They cover their hair. They wear the wigs to cover their hair, but they shave their hair. And hair is frequency. But also, it makes you easier to be under mind control if you have your head out, bald. Like if you cut your hair and you leave it out uncovered, you are more susceptible to mind control, because that's why they shave people's heads before they do anything electromagnetically. They'll shave their heads, making them more susceptible. But the Jewish Hasidic women tend, not only do they shave their heads, they put hair on their heads that's not their own. And also they don't put hair on their head from certain groups of women. They won't buy wigs from places like India, the Southeast Asia, places where there are melanated women. They will only get wigs from other Russian women, like women in this, and from what I understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they only buy wigs of hair, organic hair, that is from Eastern Europe. That's why their wigs cost like thousands of dollars. I mean, they get it cut, everything just like their hair. So am I correct? How many hours I sat at LaGuardia and full lighter has one did the same thing. I want to ask, because I have my Jewish friends, but I'm just saying, I found this very interesting. When I'm talking about mind control, I'm really looking at things from a very microscopic position. Okay? I just look at it from a certain position. I think of the people who have the most control over social media, who have control over the banking systems, who have control over things like that. And I think to myself, they must know something. because you're in a position where you have more access to higher field information. So whenever I see any people like that, it doesn't matter if it's Jews, it doesn't matter if it's people from Islam, it doesn't matter if it's people from a specific country. I want to see where that's coming from. And when I see a group of people who know something, who have more information, and I look at the things they do, I watch it with a keen eye, because I'm thinking, why do the women from Islam cover their hair, but they don't shave it? But the Jewish women who are Hasidic, who come from more wealth, establish more control, influence over social media, how come they have shaved their hair? It makes me think. And also the men cover with the yarmulke. They cover their crown with the yarmulke. The yarmulke covers the crown exactly, right? So the crown of their chakra is covered with the black. Usually it's not always black, with the yarmulke. And if you ever see a yarmulke up close, it has a beautiful fabric on the inside, but they cover their crown. So not only are the women totally covering their head, and shave their head and then cover it totally, the men wear yarmulkes over their crown. They do allow their Hasidic men do have these their sideburns to pick up certain things. Like this picks up frequencies. They have the little curls. I just wanted to talk about that because I wanted to bring up that because that's important when we talk about frequency assaults. I personally know that they are assaulting the frequencies with the music that they're looping in all the grocery stores. So I wanted to give the warning, like if you're going into grocery stores and you're going into places where you know you're going to be exposed to this frequency loop mind control programming, put in ear, what do you call it? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Ear, buds. What's the thing? Ear the name ear thingies, the things that cover your ears, not earmuffs, what's it called, y'all? Ear to close your ears up. What is that called? Anybody know what that's called? Yes, noise and the headphones, earplugs, plugs. Thank you. Earplugs. Put in earplugs, no earpods. Earpods are dangerous to your ears because they carry frequency. I hope no one is putting earpods in their ears. I hope you're not putting Wi-Fi things in your ears because it goes directly to your brain, your Wi-Fi in your brains. Put in earplugs. When you're going into places like structure, like grocery stores, department stores, I'm telling you right now, you better protect your ears. Okay? You got to protect yourself from the frequencies. They're doing it everywhere. So that is a form of mind control programming that they're initiating, they're activating people with. And you don't even want to talk about the people who decided to go get their 15% off at the grocery store by taking every shot. Okay? The people who decide to get, go and get the pneumonia shot, the Cucarachi shot, what do you call it? What kind of shots they have? The vaccine. They got shots for everything. I'm just saying, people are being activated now. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. This is a comedy skit. This is not a real video. Just letting you know. Okay? Because YouTube likes to mess with my videos. Okay? I would just cover your ears. I would do a noise canceling, and it would only be when you're shopping. I'm not saying to walk out in the street like that because that's dangerous. You need to have your facilities, you need to have your awareness. But when you go inside, it's a frequency assault. That 1980s music that they're playing and looping all over these places is a frequency assault. And the hair thing, cover your hair. Cover your hair, ladies. You shouldn't have they are using the natural hair. This is what I'm saying. The natural hair movement was to make women susceptible to forms of frequency assaults. I personally think that. I think they did that purposefully. It wasn't for our health. It wasn't for our goodness. Even though it's healthy for us, they weren't trying to do it for that reason. They wanted to make you more assaultable. So they needed your antennas to be fully magnetizable, especially if you have hair that's really coily and wired, because your coils pick up more frequencies. So the more coily and curly your hair is, it's going to pick up all those frequencies. And if they hijacked all the frequencies, what do you think you're taking in? You're taking in, and also they are assaulting your fertility with that. Because now you look at all the places where people have you know, women are having destabilized menses. They're having issues with, children, giving birth to healthy live children. Everything is affected. Remember, women are very energetically sensitive because we are able to take in frequencies and we transmit it in our bodies. A lot of us store it into our bodies, and it can literally impede, or it can rewire your cellular components, like your DNA. It can do certain things, along with taking a multitude of extra, you know what I mean? Going in for your 15% off and getting all those things, then now you're basically like hardwired and susceptible to any sort of frequencies that are coming in. And it's literally going into your body and reconfiguring how you take in certain information with your environment. So it's important to do that. And how I'm saying this, y'all, is I just look at everything from all angles. And I've been noticing that for a long time, like I said, I always look at every group of people. That's what I'm saying. I don't really have any I don't really take any sides with anyone because everyone has information. That's why they want to keep you away from discussing things with certain people. They like to keep everybody separated in different groups because if you talk to the Haitians, if you talk to the Mexicans, if you talk to the Jews, if you talk to the Islamics, if you talk to the Scientologists, if you talk to the Christians, if you talk to the brown people, the lunar people, the Asian people, you will find out there are so many keys in each of those communities that you wouldn't have access to it unless you talk to those people. Gratefully, my group has everyone. I mean, we come from big up to the zombies. We come from French Creole. Either it's Haitian, Martinican, we have Mexicans, we have people from Japan, Vietnam, Chinese background, people who come from brown Americans from the South, the North, Canadians. We got people we know from Romania. We got people we know from England, from the UK, from Switzerland, Sweden. Because when you bring all those groups together, you'll find out that there's certain information that you wouldn't have access to because they like to create separatism. That's their way of making sure that the information stays protected in those communities and you aren't able to see a full map of what they're doing. But I'm telling you right now, these bastards are trying to kill you with the frequencies. Please put a like on the video if you want it to stay up, because I don't know. Willy Wonka and his Link of Doom. Again, this video, I'm already saying too much, and I know that I try to keep the videos up for longer, but it's hard to keep videos up if they keep assaulting me. Because remember, I'm going to come up here and purple pill you by accident. I don't mean to purple pill you. Unfortunately, I will purple pill you by accident. I'm sorry if I'm doing it. I really shouldn't do it, but sometimes I just have a big mouth. Let me put my lip gloss on. Sorry, y'all. Okay. When I give you remember we're on pole shift. So you remember the pole shift in my mind, in my knowing, the pole shift happens next year. So everything's happening quicker. And I want to just give I want you to just know that as we get closer to the craziness, we're not in 2024 now, but we're not in 2024 yet, y'all, but it's going to be off the motherfucking chain, y'all. It's already starting. It's like we're in the preamp right now, the pre-tendrils of what's going to happen, but it's going to be crazy. So be careful with that. I wanted to say, I'm just going to give you a suggestion that when you go into grocery stores and anywhere where you're going to hear that loop, that mind control 1980s music, you got to be careful. You should mute it because it's literally, and listen, I don't care how you say you're not under mind control. Everybody is under mind control to a certain degree. That's why we'll use certain, some people are more susceptible to it because they're just more, their cellular, first of all, their ancestors were more capable. Okay. DNA matters. Like if someone's genetically homogenized, their ancestors, they're most likely they're genetically capped. So they aren't able to take in information. And you know it, like, I don't really listen. I was born and bred in the United States, right? My family's not from the States, right? But I have certain mind control programming. But one thing I know is if someone is perpetually believing the television and the news, I don't care where you come from. If I hear you say things that the news is saying and you're repeating it as if it's true, I already know you're under mind control. And I won't really battle with that. I can't fight with your mind control. You got to work with your mind control. Some of you just have it and you're just stuck. Like certain things we have, our prejudices, our biases is all forms of mind control. Okay. When you have little babies aren't really equipped like that. You know what I mean? But there are certain people that are, genetically homogenized from, we don't even know if they're real. They might have just been hybrids from the mud flood people, the test tube people. Those people, they're totally under mind control. Those are just their genetics was only set up to go so far in consciousness. So they don't even have a level of consciousness. Those are the ones who keep saying things like white hats and black hats or Democrats and Republicans. There isn't any such thing. That's all polarities playing out. People playing into that polarity game. Listen, it's the same coin, different sides of the same coin. Democrats and that word doesn't sound right in this field. Democrats and Republicans are the same. They're the same coin, different sides of the same coin. When you say things like black or white, you're in polarities. You're in the polarity game. Okay. If you're going to say things like, I was listening to Alex Jones because, Alex Jones is really good with intel. I have to give him props because he's been longstanding, but he's another, I personally think he's probably another psyop. Even though his information is really credible, there's a form of him that I think is psyoped. But, he'll say things like, oh, the blacks are beating up all the lunars and so on like that. I was like, yeah, I could see that's happening. But he doesn't talk about the fact that, a lot of Western countries have gone into every single so-called brown country and robbed, pillaged, and genocided. So yeah, touche. It's happening. It's all across the board. But you can't speak on one half and not acknowledge the other. You can't say that the so-called blacks are beating up on lunars when you haven't acknowledged a whole genocide of entire countries. And, I went to share about Haiti because I think Haitians are the most underrated, underspoken, advanced society that is being traumatized and destroyed, and nobody ever speaks about it. They'll be like, oh, save Ukraine, save Israel, but nobody will ever talk about what happened to Haiti. They had a whole prime minister that was assassinated by the United States and a whole bunch of others, and nobody said anything about it. Like, it's crazy to me that people are in the mind control. They only will acknowledge things that are promoted social media wise. And they are capped. Like if they have prejudices in their cellular memory, like a bias, no one ever brings up Bush. You ever notice that? How come everybody talks about Obama? Obama is totally, first of all, that's not a black president. For anybody who said that, first, he was not black. BLAK. I said black. Okay, notice I didn't say melanated or brown. He isn't a black president. He wasn't raised by any brown people. He was raised by a lunar mother from the bloodline of the diabolical. He wasn't even a brown person, and he's not even a straight man. He's a homosexual man who is married to a man. Okay? So I don't understand why people bring him up so much and they don't bring up Bush and they don't bring up the Clintons as much. You had Hillary Clinton, this is allegedly, ripping off a child's face on a video, allegedly, okay? And people would prefer to keep talking about Obama because they really hate brown people. They really hate them. So they want to find everything wrong about the one bastard, because he's a bastard, but there's 50 million of them. There was one brown fake president, but you had a whole bunch of other presidents who set up for that whole system. But nobody ever brings up Bush. How come? Why don't you bring up Bush? Where's Bush? Nobody. That Bush family, he was married to a whole man too. Barbara Bush allegedly had a whole freaking Adams album. She looked like something. She looked like a man, a really bad man too. Like, how come you don't bring that up? You always want to bring up Obama, and I don't say you're not right. You're absolutely correct. But why don't you bring up Bell? That's how you know people are under mind control. If they're unwilling to see two sides of the same coin, they'll take one position and it could be correct. I'm not saying it's wrong. It could be correct. It's one position, but they won't acknowledge the other one. Listen, the United States is the most diabolical, disgusting, Satanist country. I don't know if you think that you're living in a righteous Christian, I don't know what you think this country is, but it is ran by Satanists. The countries, you know how every country has, like Israel, the main religion is Judaism. In Saudi Arabia, the main religion is, Islam. The United States, the main spiritual and occult religion is Satanism. It is a Satanist country. Everybody is involved in congressional and to the president. They're all Satanists. Okay? So I don't know why you think that the Satanists or there's good Satanists and bad Satanists. Do you know Satanists? Do they sound like they're balanced to you? Okay? Anyone who thinks it's okay to harvest children's organs or to consume it to prolong their disgusting, dastardly, low frequency life, why would you think that there's any system that is acceptable? Do you think that all of these so-called people you voted into the congressional positions, you think they're not all participants? Even if they're not doing it themselves, they're complicit in it by being a party in a system that has a whole bunch of these mother freakers doing it. They're all complicit. Apathy does not give you anonymity. You're all complicit. If I know that you, my neighbor, are doing hurting children, eating children, or promoting trafficking of children, then I, by nature of being a participant, I'm not saying anything. Silence is banter for injustice. By me not saying anything or trying to make sure that your behind is taken out of commission, I am just as responsible as the mother freaker who's doing it. You got a whole country of all these so-called political people that you voted in, and none of these mother freakers are taking accountability for anything. Number one, how come we have chemtrails all over the United States? When is it that you couldn't go to a council meeting? Because big up to my people who are a little more seasoned, mostly the baby boomers, because those are the ones who used to go to all the environmental meetings that, the states holds. They were the ones who used to go in and say, hey, what are all these chemtrails in the sky? Why aren't you telling us why that's allowed and what's in those components? Then when the government the Willy Wonka would ignore them, they would go in, and that's why I got to give the boomers some props. They would go in with water samples or samples when it would rain or dew would fall on, and it would take samples of it and then bring that chemicalized. That's how we know there was barium in it. That's how we know there was aluminum in it. That's why we know there was strontium in it. We knew that because the baby boomers were the ones who took the samples and brought it in and say, hey, what's in this? How come you keep voting in a governmental system that is rigged from its inception? Why do you think you have a constitutional right for anything when they only created the Constitution when it would allow them to have control over you and make you give you a false feeling of safety? All of it is rigged. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if I'm purple pilling you or not, but everything is a lie. Everything they ever told you is a lie. The whole system, there is no constitution. If there was a constitution, 2020 could never happened. If I was protected by, was it my First Amendment right? Is it First Amendment right? That is for to speech. Is it First Amendment, y'all? Is it first? Am I right? My First Amendment right is for my right to speak freely. Is that it? Am I correct? Just let me know which amendment. I don't really know. I think it's First Amendment, right? It's first? Okay. If in fact we were allowed, the Constitution was standing, your First Amendment right wouldn't be compromised. It was okay for you to see all these talk shows where people talk dastardly about other people. They didn't restrict them. Did you see anyone being prosecuted for speaking freely about something, even if it was non-tasteful or ethically wrong? No. your First Amendment right was always protected. That's a lie. During 2020, they freaking, and before that, because you saw, well, with my channel, my First Amendment right wasn't ever obliged. They didn't give me a right to speak my mind, even if they felt like it was distasteful or it was, non-righteous or non-ethical. They always compromised my First Amendment right. So if it was really an amendment and we were protected by it, why is it that some people were allowed to speak and others weren't? For your Second Amendment right to hold arms, you already know they're compromising that all over the place. The only reason you had that amendment that was made in the fake Constitution was because that was what was given to Europe when it came into the country, when it was advertised to have free land here, because there were a whole bunch of natives living here, indigenous. And in order to, like what's happening right now, y'all, I'm going to be careful because this video is going to be taken out. It might be. It is what it is, y'all. If it's taken out, it is. Just that's what's happening right now. When the Europeans were coming in the droves and they were told a false narrative, hey, come into the country, there's free land. They didn't tell them there were Native Americans living on those land masses. So people gave up. They were like, you don't want to live under the tax criminal Europe and the queen who's stealing all your money. They told them that. And then when they came here and saw a whole bunch of indigenous, they said, hey, we made an amendment so everybody has a right to hold arms so that you could protect yourself. No, it was forms for you so they could have a right to assassinate the savages, because that's what they called the indigenous when they came here. They were able to assassinate them. So the Second Amendment right was only given as a way to cull the numbers of indigenous here so they can take them over. Now you're having the same thing happen again, because these motherfreakers right here, all these immigrants coming in, listen, y'all, the first group of immigrants last week just finished the academy, the police academy, and they are allowed to hold arms against you, the American, and they don't have their citizenship. So do you see how if you allow one set of rules to be compromised, it will pay you back later, your ancestors back later? They have made sure they've done exactly the same thing. We are in the loop, y'all. The way that the Europeans came in here and assassinated much of the indigenous and culled them and mind controlled the rest of those motherfreakers to where they don't even like themselves, they are doing the same thing right now with all the borders are open to the point, y'all, there ain't no going back. There's no going back. That's why they're assaulting the Midwest. I feel sorry for what's happening to the Midwest. They got them surrounded. They are allowing them arms. They don't have their citizenship. They are coming in here in the droves. And y'all, since 2020, not only have you had now listen, when I say immigrants, I'm talking about, and I already told you, I don't even think that all of these men coming in are coming from the earth. I think they might be coming from Nibiru. That's a whole nother conversation we'll have probably on another platform, okay? I personally think that the beings that are coming in, that you're seeing coming in the droves, there is no way you get 10 million men coming in from all these countries and you don't see the depreciation in their country. That means they're not coming from those countries. That means they could be coming from somewhere else. These are soldiers that could be coming down from a ship that you and I are not told is present. These could be, because like I said, Nibiru has melanated men and Asian men. And I noticed that we assume that all of the Asian people coming in those borders is from China. And when you look at them, they don't look depreciated. They don't look malnourished. They look really healthy. They got new clothes, new kicks. If you coming over the Darien Strait and you coming over walking all those long distances, first of all, where are you getting the funding to do that if you're coming from a poor country? And number one, where are you getting all the clean clothes from? Because they're being beamed down here, y'all. They're coming off the ships and they're coming from Nibiru and they're coming to rectify and remedy the assassination of some of their people and their offspring that were here in the United States. That's what I'm saying. Be careful, Midwest, because they coming for y'all, because y'all were the first ones that came in here, pilgrimized and everything, and they coming to remedy certain things. I'd be careful with that, because there's no way you get that many young males coming from other countries without wives and children, and they look so clean and healthy. If you're coming from a third world country, your teeth are jacked up, You'd have sometimes extended bellies. You would look unhealthy skin-wise. They got fresh haircuts, clean clothes, got luggage. These mother freakers right here are coming off Nibiru. And they're coming to a mountain near you. Better be careful. And then this bastard, I'm so dastardly. This bastard, what's his name? Vivek? Some dude who's running for president? You trust him? That I don't even know where he came from. I don't even know if that. Listen, y'all. Yo, this dude Vivek, where'd he come from? Y'all know him? He said he don't even care if Trump runs around. Where'd he come from? He don't even look like he's from here. Well, who is he? Y'all know him? Do you guys know him? Gemini, you know him? I don't know who he is. I don't trust him. He's another clown. He's another clown, the clown show. Where'd he come from? Where'd he come from? I heard him the other day, and you see, Alex Jones is promoting him. Roseanne Barr is promoting him. Who else? Someone else. Why are they promoting this guy? Oh, George Soros. Gemini said George Soros is funding him. Yo, Vivek, listen to his name. That sounds like an alien name. It's a lizard. Kay said he's a lizard. He was like, I'm coming in as a patriot. You don't look like a patriot, sir. Where are you from? What country are you from? Listen, I'm first generation. I don't claim to be a full-blooded. They ain't no full-blooded American other than the natives. But he don't look like a native to me. I don't know where he's from. Where's he from? Do you all know where he's from? That's another alien. I don't know what planet or what. He might be a Martian for all I know. Where is he from? Punjab. Punjabi? He's Indian? Oh, snap. So, okay, so they brown and American, y'all. Y'all. I'm telling you right now, y'all motherfuckers need to leave the United States. Y'all, I don't, listen. And then you always call me prejudiced. I ain't supporting him, and he's supposedly brown. Y'all be like, oh, she only likes brown. I don't like all brown people. I already let you know that. I'm not a Negrotarian, and I'm not an Indotarian, okay? Negrotarians and Indotarians just like everything brown, whether it's good or not. That isn't me. I don't know where he's from. My gut says I don't like him. And I don't care. Listen. It's bad enough Trump was orange. This mother freaker right here, they make him more melanated so you trust him, just like Obama. They bring in a brown face, so you thinking, y'all thinking it's all good. You said he got the shingle shot? Did you see he got the shingle? Is he promoting the shingle shot? You said he looks like he's got the shingle shot? Who said that? Oh, Reese said he's got the shingle. Reese, you talking about him getting the shingle shot? There is no way Vivek will win. I don't know where he's from. You said Vivek Pfizer? Listen. I saw him. I was like, oh, they trying to bring in another clown. Oh, where is the clowns? Listen. I don't know. Just like that other guy. And everybody got mad when I didn't like that other guy. What was that other guy's name? Remember Trump was running and all these people were running, like this other Indian. What was the other? His name was Shiva. Do you remember the guy Shiva? Y'all, do you remember him? What's his name? Shiva. Remember that guy Shiva that was running? Am I right? Remember him? And I didn't like him and everybody cursed me out. Dr. Shiva, I did not like him. Oh, no, I did not. For all the people who said listen, because you got brown skin don't mean anything to me. It's all in your soul. I didn't like Dr. Shiva either. I think whoever's coming from that region, I wouldn't trust them. And he got mad too. He was using young Pharaoh to remember that? He was using young Pharaoh. He was on young Pharaoh's thing. And people were like, oh, why are you being such a hater, FleurBrun? Because he was a setup too. he was a setup too. I don't trust these people. I don't know, doctor. I just saw this one here, Viva, and the problem is that because you got Mr. Kamala Harris, another trans, Mr. Kamala, right? Allegedly, okay. Mr. Kamala, who's called herself, I don't know what is Mr. Kamala, what is he? Did he accept his trans status yet? Has he come out of the closet yet? No? Okay, well, when he comes out of the closet, then maybe I'll say real, but it's allegedly for now, okay? This is what I perceive him to be. Mr. Kamala ran on the Asian card, right? So she came in, right, and said she was Asian. Why does she get to choose Asian and Obama chose brown, a black man? Do you understand what kind of craziness this is? Obama wasn't even raised by anything brown. The only thing brown that he was messing with was his husband. Okay? That's the only thing brown that he was messing with. But other than that, Kamala came in on an Asian thing. And first of all, why would you say that when you call yourself even her father didn't accept her? Because she said she was smoking weed because she's Jamaican. That's disrespectful. How you gonna assume all Jamaicans smoke weed? That was so disrespectful, y'all. And the father said it too. He was like, how you gonna come in and tell people you smoke weed because you're Jamaican? It's disregarding, it's disrespectful. It is uniformly a form of by making it seem like all Jamaicans smoke weed and that's what they do. It's disrespectful. Her father checked her, or him, whatever it is, right? So you got this one coming in, Kamala saying she was coming in on as an Indian, right? So why is it important for them to bring Indians up into a subgroup? Because it's almost like they're riding something, because there's a lot of Asians coming in the country. So it's kind of like they're building like a fort of like acceptivity. That's what they do when they bring another group in. They kind of slowly put them into your view. So it becomes more normalized and regulated. You know what I mean? That's what they do. So I think that's what Mr. Kamala was meant to do. And this Vivek, I don't care what you say. I don't trust him. Just like I don't trust any of them other mother freakers. He came in and I heard him yesterday. I was like, oh, he's like, and I think he's a shapeshifter. I don't even think, when you look at a shapeshifter, he's holding his form really well. And I didn't really break it down, but when I looked at him, he reminds me of people that are shapeshifters. He has the same kind of look. Like it's that visual look. I got to sit and watch him a couple more times. But if I had to put my money on it, something's wrong there. I'm sorry, I talked about him too long. I just was upset. I saw him. I was like, oh, they trying to set us up. Let me explain something, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what that being is. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. I don't know. He gives me the same vibes of Dr. Shiva. He gives me the same vibes, and I don't like him either. I don't know what it is. It has nothing to do with them being Indian. It has nothing to do with that. It's some about where they come from or who they are. That's all it is. I don't know what it is, though. So now you basically are Trump. Listen, Trump's clones are all in court. Trump got a clone for every court case. Okay, so Trump's clones, they got a clone. They got a double. They got a Trump clone for every court case. They got him all tied up. DeSantis, I'm from Florida. I was living in Florida for such a long time. I had a thing for Santos, but Santos is being run and he's being monetized by the Khazarians. So the Khazarians claim him, so I can't trust him. Okay? So everybody, there's no political arena that's safe, y'all. They're all Satanists, allegedly. They're all Satanists. The whole country is Satanist. They all, listen, that's why they're not going to give you the list. And when you see the list, it's going to be a mixture of probably some victims up in that list, because they don't want you to let you know all them bastards were complicit in all that kind of sick sexual deviant behavior. They're all basically shape-shifting one sex to another. They're sickos. All of them. Would you leave a politician with your children alone? You tell me, maybe I'm wrong. Would you leave your politician with your child? Tell me. Would you say to yourself, oh, Oh, I voted for this woman. Let me leave my son Tommy with. Would you ever in your life? That lets you know you shouldn't trust any of them. You thinking? Listen, y'all. There's nothing changed from the Queen Lizzie. Queen Lizzie died. The only difference is that what's happening now, and this is a fact. I'll share this because I think I've kept you guys too long. Whenever there is a queen, a female queen that is at the top, she will assassinate all females. That it's like when you have a beehive or a queen in it was who is this? Oh, big up to Selma, who's in my Zumbi group. I gotta give a shout out to Selma, who's in the Zumbi group. She shared this. I didn't know this about bees, but this is a good example. Whenever there's a female at the top who's in rulership, they will assassinate all the females. They will destroy them. They'll keep them marginalized and controlled because it's like a competition thing. They want to make sure no other one can take her spot. So when the queen bee is, she will put a chemical in each one of the little pods that holds the little babies for the females, so all the females aren't going to be as big as her and they won't be able to produce babies. So she will basically inseminate each of the pods. She'll have her drones inseminate each of the females, the little larva, and she will put something in there so they don't develop into females that will be big like her or be able to reproduce. Okay. But guess what happened? Queen Lizzie supposedly died, which we know she probably shapeshifted and went into one of her grandchildren, allegedly. Okay. Little Charlotte, right? She went to see Charlotte first. She probably, vrilled her way into Charlotte's eye. And now she's probably living in that little girl. Okay. Then you have the king. So when the king takes over, when a male takes over, that's now how you know this is fact, y'all, is because look what's happening to all the males right now. All the males are being destroyed and feminized. They're destroying the fertility of the males. They're destroying the males. That's what lets you know a king is in rulership now. And women will start to take positions of power because now a male, a king, a masculine is now in a higher position. So now all males will be destroyed because they don't want males to compete with that king. So now they're going to destroy all the masculinity. So now you're seeing all males being destroyed. How many males are being so damaged right now? It's sad. Like they're going over and buying. Listen, y'all, if your wand isn't working, you should sue the federal government. If your wand stopped working and it isn't getting as nice and stiff as it used to, you should sue the government. I'm telling you. The food is being compromised with hormonal blockers. They're putting hormonal blockers in the food, in the sky. They're putting it everywhere. So a lot of men are not even able to have full erections anymore. I'm sorry I'm blowing the spot, but it is what it is. I mean, it's bad too, because now that Queen Lizzie had supposedly passed away, now they're attacking males in the droves. And I tell you, males, if you have sun sea stars, you need to take those babies and go move into the forest or the jungle. And don't tell anybody where you are. Dig yourself a nice hole underneath the ground and raise your little boys because they coming for the males. Just like in the biblical, wasn't in the Bible when they went to destroy all males? You think they just killed them. See, a lot of times you think the stories in the Bibles are just basically historical accounts of how they genocided before. Whenever a king he was jealous. He didn't want to make sure no males would come with him. It wasn't that they murdered. You think that they murdered the little boys? No, they didn't. They probably just took away their virility. They muted them, made them into females, castrated them. Yes. Turned them into the others. Eunuchs. Yes, Joshua. So that's all they did. So you need to listen, because a lot of you moms, like I go to the store and I'm real funky with what I buy. I'm very restricted on what I purchase, especially for my children. And I go into stores and I see mothers, what they put in their carts. Oh my God. And they got sons. I had to tell one of the women, I said, listen, maybe I'm not in a position to share this with you, but I'm going to share this with you now. All the stuff you put in there, if you have little boys, you're going to create boys that don't like girls. Or you're going to have boys that are going to have testosterone, lower, and will suffer from forms of suffer from forms of like, feminism. Like you see a lot of males on social media, they talk a lot, they're very chatty. That's very feminine. They go and get manicures and stuff like that. Males don't do things like that. Males are not even very talkative. A very masculine male is very stoic. He's very calm. He's not talkative. Communication and stuff like that is very female. All these males on social media talking and wearing nail polish, that's all because they're being chemicalized. It's bioweaponry 101. Okay. So I tell the moms, you got them plastic bottles. I don't care if they say BPA free. All plastic bottles are estrogen mimickers. It will destabilize the hormones. All of them. All of them. They will tell you now BPA because that's the buzz. BPA, everybody's worried about BPA. So they decided not to move any plastic, because then you got to say, what kind of plastic is that made of? When it gets warm, because most shipments of plastic bottles and other things that ship from countries where it's hot, where it isn't being temperature controlled all the time. What kind of chemical is being leached into that plastic bottle? Okay. You got to ask that. Then you got to say to yourself, where do you live? If you're living in a place where there's a heightened amount of homosexual males and it's odd, the hardest species to switch. And I talked about the gay bombs. You guys thought it was a joke. The military, and you can look it up because everybody gets mad at me. Why are you mad at me if you are a victim? You shouldn't be mad at me. You are a victim of forms of chemicalization and bioweaponry by your Willy Wonka systems. You are a victim. Don't get mad at me just because you are now switched into something that was purposefully done to you. You should work on suing the freaking Willy Wonka system that did that to you, or your sons. If you're living somewhere and there's a heightened amount of males that are flipped and are same sex, you need to think to yourself, what is in the water system? What is in the water system? Because the easiest way, that's why they wanted to control all the water. That's why they don't let you dig wells. You can get fined on your own property for digging a well. Why would you get fined? You got to ask yourself, why are you getting fined? Why would they fine you from locating water source underneath the ground on your own property that you purchased? Because the best way to infiltrate any people is through their water system. And they can't do it if you have independent water sources like wells. They can't do it that way. So they got to make sure that you all are tapped into the same source of water so they can all purposefully and nicely chemicalize you and bioweapon you easily. Okay? So mothers, if you have sons, I'm letting you know, allegedly, because I'm not a doctor, because remember, Willy Wonka likes to mess with me. I'm not a doctor or anything. Get your sons out of the United States. And if you're living here, you need to go somewhere and you do what I said just a minute ago. Okay? Because your boys are being indoctrinated with all kinds of social media, which is basically every show now has boys kissing boys. You can go on any show now, especially young people show. Back in the days, they didn't propaganda. You see little children's shows like animals playing and, fun stuff. Now, everything is sexually changed and modified, and it's infecting your children's subconscious. And if it doesn't get your son, he's hanging out with other parents that don't care about their children because they don't know. It may not even be the kid. They don't know. So now you got unconscious parents creating more unconscious sons. So your son might be told to have oral sex with his friend because his friend has been indoctrinated and under forms of bioweaponry. I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? I'm sorry. Am I purple pilling? I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. It is what it is. You allow the government too much insert into your life. All forms, either they're going to listen. If you're sending your child to school with other children, by default, even if you're a parent that it's being mindful of what your child eats, drinks, listens to, they're going to school with children that are being frequency assaulted and are under mind control programming and with unconscious parents. So those children will influence yours. That's why they're happy to have school. School wasn't to educate you, to make you higher, to make you more efficient in certain things. It was to put your children in a position to make them more mind controllable and also make them into drones. How wonderful was that? It's important for you. I want to talk to moms about sons, because as women, we know. Girls, I already talk about the girls all the time. I'm telling you, moms of sons, you need to, if you're going to stay in the fakes, and I told you, I don't suggest you stay in the fakes. I'm sorry. I know people like, oh, she's a defector. I don't have any loyalty to anywhere. I wouldn't have loyalty to any country that doesn't have loyalty to me and mine. So when people say, oh, she doesn't have loyalty, do you have loyalty to your enemy? You have loyalty to do you have loyalty to a country that is trying to kill you and your offspring? When people say that to me, I was like, they're mind controlled. The fact that you're saying that I am a defector and I don't have why would you have respect for? So you would stay with a man who disrespects you and calls you out your name constantly? You would think it's okay to stay with him? That's what you're telling me when you say, oh, why are you saying about the country? I didn't have a choice, and my parents came here. And yes, at the time, I had certain perks and privileges when the United Fakes was still faker. But now it isn't as fake anymore, and everything's out of the closet. So I opt out, okay? If you have boys, get them out of the country. If you're going to stay, you're going to have to do a lot of work, y'all, because you're going to have to keep them away from all the other indoctrinated little boys. Because if you hear about all of that's why they have these books in elementary school telling little boys how to have oral sex with other little boys. When have you ever seen that? And it's an assault on boys. You don't see it as much with girls. You're seeing it on boys. And I would not trust, like, listen, if you have a son, and I'm not one to say, because I don't have a grown son, but if I had a son that's in his twinkling years, I wouldn't trust him sleeping over other little boys' houses, because the things that these little children are being promoted to doing, and a lot of children are being touched by other relatives and being switched. We have a king that's now in rulership, so old boys will be destroyed. So they're going to make boys into girls. That's what they do. And people are like, well, in other countries, do they do it? Yeah, there's other forms they're trying to, but not every country is we're in a Satanist country. We're living in Satanism. And if you know anything about Satanism, it's all about inversion. It's all about inverting everything. So in that itself, you know that if you're raising a child in here, they're going to invert and make everything that's perverted right. They're going to make everything that you perceivably would think was wrong initially in your mindset as a parent and make it into something right. And money is all spelled. All the fiat. Then I don't know why you guys get upset that they're getting rid of physical cash, because all of that money has all those sigils and rituals all over it. Why would you even want to touch it? I told you before, the richest, wealthiest people have the most limited contact with physical money. It's spelled. It's ritualized. Every time you touch a physical bill, it literally, you're being spelled. Okay? So even if they change the currency and make it into something else, currency is something you have naturally. You don't have to necessarily accept all forms of currency just from them and their exchanges. You can create that. Currency is current. It's currency. It's currency. You create it yourself. Okay? You create energy. And if you accept that you're limited and the only way that you can be abundant is through them, then you're going to live a life like that. That's why you got to be careful around being with people who will compromise their life and anything for fiat. Like if someone is always compromising for fiat, then that isn't somebody you could trust. Like if someone will compromise their physical autonomy, their health, for 15% off groceries to take shots that they normally wouldn't do, that means they're compromisable. Those are people you shouldn't trust around your family or anything, because if people will compromise just for something so simple, $50, someone will take $50 and tell all your business, or $50 and, go and do things like that. And let me speak to the men, like even Jamoji. Let me give a shout out to Jamoji. And I think I spoke about this before. I'm not going to stay on too much longer because I'm going too far. But even with Jamoji, big up to Jamoji because she gave this information. She was saying that her cousin was in the prison. Okay, so I'm talking to the guys who were locked up because I know some of them listen to me. And let me explain something to our Sun Stars and Sea Stars who are locked up. Once you're put behind those walls, they want to get your DNA and access to it. And if you, she was saying that her cousin, they were offering the males $50, which is nothing. $50 to give their sperm and to use it, and they were put in cells with their same blood types. Why do you think they're able to weaponize shots of mass destruction? Because the men in prison feel desperate and will sell out their DNA for $50 because they're confined and they feel desperate and they don't have access to maybe outside resources. So they compromise their DNA, and guess what? If you share the same DNA with them, guess what? The next time they make a Kukarachi shot, guess who's going to be affected and probably have some sort of weaponized health issues? I'm sorry. Am I ruining your peace of mind? I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I'm not really that hostile in my life, y'all. I'm really not. I get all amped up. Please put a like on my video if you're up for the shenanigans today, y'all. I say I come on here, I'm not going to talk about everything, but then I end up doing it. Isn't it crazy? I say I'm not going to come on here and just totally talk about everything, but by the nature of being, and you know what's crazy? Because I'm 3 Sages, it's harder for me to hold back on the other 2 Sages. The first Sag will get it, but like, okay, you can't talk about everything. Then the second Sag will say, well, screw that. We could talk about anything. But, you know, then the third Sag is like, screw that. Let's just let it all out. It's like 3 of me in one. It's a shame. And then you got aliens coming off the ship Nibiru, coming over the border. I actually feel safer with the immigrants coming off of Nibiru than I feel with the fake government, Satanist government. That's the crazy part. I gratefully feel safer with some of these men coming in because I look at the governmental system. These motherfuckers are trying to kill everybody, allegedly. These motherfuckers are weaponizing the food. They putting everything in the... Oh, that's a nice car. They putting everything in the food. They coming over the border. They being dropped off ships. They being dropped off the ship. Coming to the neighborhood. Let me talk to y'all in the Midwest. I've gone abroad, and I think it's smart. They're lizards. Charlotte said they're lizards. They probably are. They clone Tyrone. Y'all, I've gone out of the country in Mexico. Well, I just came from Mexico. Let me tell you. You think it was me telling you to leave the country? I'm telling you right now. Everybody left the country. A lot of lunars from the Midwest left. They left. I talked to them. They left the country, y'all. Woo! They left. So they got the memo. The rest of you, I feel bad. I feel sorry. I do. Because they're surrounding the Midwest. They going straight for the lunar males up in the Midwest. They coming for y'all. And I don't really... At first I was like, well, the lunar males in the Midwest, they've been stockpiling since their grandfathers were World War I. They'll be okay. No, I don't think that anymore because there's too many of these aliens coming in here. There's too many. And they did the same like they did when they colonized the United States. They're making sure that for every one lunar male that's stockpiling, they got like 30, 40 motherfuckers for you. It's really scary. It really is. It's very sad. So I just say, because it's mostly women on here. I don't know how many lunar men are on here, but y'all, I'm giving you the heads up. Most brown people, I told you I'm not a Negrotarian. I don't really abide by any of the so-called, racial limitations. I'll share with everybody because I feel like if you hear this message, it's meant for you to hear it. I would be careful. See, because Idaho's just got hit again. And if you notice, there wasn't a time that Idaho was ever hit like that. Like, Idaho is one of those places, like, a lot of lunars live over there. It's not, like, maybe drugs and stuff maybe is in the Midwest, because they do a lot more, because that may be boredom, recreational drugs. But when I see that they got all of these, they weaponizing them. They're giving them weapons, y'all. And they're doing frequency, uh, they're doing, maturing they're doing maturing activations in Idaho. Like with that shooting, they had the shooting warning like 3 months ago and they didn't take it seriously and they shot up the school. Then remember those Idaho, those 3 girls? What was it? 3 young ladies, cutie pies too. Who are the girls? Remember the girls in Idaho? Really pretty girls, college students. Remember the 2 girls, y'all? Remember, very sweetie pies, the little girls in college. Blonde, they were both blondes, and there was like 2 others in the house, and they all got assassinated. That was all they working on Idaho, and right, the Idaho 4. Yeah, it's very sad. Yeah, they're working over there. They're triggering maturing candidates over there. That's what they're doing. They're working on. See, they're gonna do that first. They're gonna trigger all those who chipped up, the sleeper cells, and then they're gonna surround them with them freaking crazy aliens that are in here. They listen. If you think that I'm trying to scare you, go and look at the first police candidates, the police academy that just allowed illegal aliens to become officers and join the academy. When have you ever heard of that? They're not citizens. They haven't been legitimized. We don't even know where they came. They came off of ships. You don't even know what ship they came off of. How do you verify what country they're coming from? Anybody could come from over the border. They just basically, they're giving them weaponized phones to activate the maturing candidate inside of them. Okay, the sleeper cell. They're activating them. They're coming all over the border. How do you know where they're coming from? Okay. Be careful, Lunar. I'm talking to my Lunar Sea Stars because I love my Lunar Sea Stars and I want them safe because, they've been rocking with me. Listen, I want them and their family safe, especially women with children. I'm very sensitive to that. I want y'all to be safe. So I say, listen, Sea Stars, my Lunar Sea Stars and my Lunar Sun Stars in the Midwest, I wouldn't even try to fight. I don't know. Listen, Willy Wonka got all these weaponized aliens over here, and we can't even distinguish what planet they came from. Nonetheless, what country they came from. We don't even know what they got. They could have payloads in their body of viruses and mass destruction. We don't know. But they're targeting y'all. I know that much. I will tell you that. I know that much. And what I know and see, they're targeting y'all. And I see them, they're testing, they're doing like beta tests, they're doing little things. Like with the Idaho, that was maturing candidate activation. Then they did it with the school last night. They're activating these bastards, okay? They're bastards. Be careful, Sea Stars. And especially when you have children, I want y'all to be careful. I want you to pay attention. And the ones that they're sending over by y'all are not going to be so easily discernible. Remember, you forgot how many Ukrainians came in here? Do you remember? I think Sea Stars, you got to realize, you're thinking it's the brown and Asian ones that are coming there. No, they're going to cloak the people with the areas that match the type of look. They're not sending the Negroes to you or the Asians to you. They're sending other lunar looking people towards you. Because you would be able to discern friend from foe. Because remember, it's mostly lunars there. You wouldn't accept having a whole bunch of brown people coming into town. That's just what it is. But you wouldn't know the difference if you see a lunar guy dressed like a yuppie. How would you know the difference? Be careful and just be mindful. And with your little ones, don't just let them go all over the place like that anymore. This is just my advice. Okay, because they're sending, remember, you don't remember how many Ukrainians they let in the country, y'all. How many Ukrainians? Do you remember? No, none of you remember. Ukrainians are not brown and they're not Asian. How would you know the difference if someone is dressed like an American? You wouldn't know. They're not sending those people. When I say they're surrounding you, y'all automatically think it's brown people. They're not going to do that. They're not stupid. That's why they send the brown ones over to brown areas and Asians over to Asian areas, because they can mix in with the group. They're not stupid. This is warfare, y'all. They know that you're up on it. So just make sure you look. Just pay attention, Sea Stars. Alaska, I don't think they really... I don't know that they really messing with y'all in Alaska like that. I haven't looked. I have to look into that. I haven't heard anything about Alaska, though. You're kind of close to Russia. So I don't, how many Ukrainians did y'all let in? Because I don't think many people know that. How many Ukrainians did you let in? Again, these are things that other channels are not going to tell you because they don't want you to know, because a lot of them are agents. Like Canadian Prepper and all them, they're monetized agents, okay? They're going to give you certain information to keep you distracted, but a lot of these people online, they're paid by the government. Listen, and you know they are, because their channels are not being infiltrated. Nobody's messing with them. They're allowed to share information. How could Canadian Prepper give that much intel and nobody touch his channel? How many? Okay. Lived in a Ukrainian village in Chicago and was mistaken for Ukrainian on a daily basis. Oh, Jen said she lived in Ukraine. Yeah. And I don't want to demonize Ukraine, people from Ukraine, because one of my closest girlfriends was from Ukraine. But it's not that. The people that they let into Ukraine, they look European. You wouldn't be able to decipher a Ukrainian from an American if they dressed like a lunar American. You wouldn't tell unless they talked. I'm just giving a warning, because nobody will do it. I'll do it, because people, I see all these clowns on these channels that I know they're Agent Smiths. They're working for the CIA, FBI. I see it. You could see in the kind of conversation how they lead people, and also that they're working for the freaking Willy Wonka system, because all they do is talk about politics and talk about the Republicans and Democrats. Anytime someone's still bringing up Democrats and Republicans as if they're different, you already know they're psyoped. Or they're limited cognitively because they're under mind control. They're both working for the same. All the government, all the Willy Wonka systems are working on the same accord. They're all one. Whether you see it black or white is on you. But if you see it only as separate and not realizing it's all one, it's on one coin, you're going to have problems. Be careful with that. I give the warning to y'all because I care about our sea stars that are in the Midwest. Because a lot of you are just sweet and kind, especially moms. A lot of people on this channel, a lot of them are moms. And I really have a soft spot for mothers. And I know that they have their little ones. I don't really care if you're lunar, brown, green, Asian, anything. I'm really protective of moms. So I want to make sure that our lunar women, because they don't know this, because they're not telling you this. And I'm a brown woman telling you this. I'm telling you this. It is not to make you scared. It's just to make you prepared. Because when I go abroad, some of you don't travel abroad. I do. When I see a lot of lunars from the Midwest living in places like Mexico and Colombia, that worries me, because they know something you don't. They know something. That there wasn't a time where lunars felt more comfortable in Spanish countries than they felt in their own country. If they got the FYI and you didn't, that tells me something. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot more. These are people that used to be very patriotic, and they wouldn't leave their country. They'd have the American flag up. They're living in Mexico. They're living in South America. They left. That means they got wind of something. And a lot of them, their husbands were in the military, so they got the FYI. Okay? Don't trust anybody because they look like you. Just like brown people. I tell brown people, just because most brown people who attack me are brown. They look just like me. They're going to send people who look like you, y'all. That's why I said I'm not a Negrotarian. The Negrotarians think that everything brown is right. Someone says something, oh, why don't you represent for brown people? Because I'm not all brown people. We don't have the same ancestors. I don't even know you like that. Like, why do you represent people because they just look? Because the people who will do the most, look at all Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Who do you think accepted? The only way they can get to you quicker is if they look like you. The number one people that will always get you are the ones who look like you and talk like you. You're not going to let just anybody in. People are very xenophobic like that. Okay? You got to be careful with that. So why the Negrotarians are letting all these MK Ultra agents all in their groups because they brown, they think they brown, they right. They're being infiltrated. It's easier if someone looks like you. If I'm a lunar woman, I'm going to trust another lunar woman quicker than I would trust somebody else. So they're going to send people who look like you to infiltrate your groups, your people, all the thing. I'm just giving a fair warning. Be careful with the music, the frequency that they have. The frequency is going to be here. We're in pole shift time, y'all. That's why there's all these earthquakes. And be careful. Some earthquakes are just explosions. They're not even earthquakes. They're explosions. You heard about what happened over in New York, right? Nobody's talking about that, right? New York had a 1 point something earthquake, right? But you don't realize that was right before they had the explosion around the same time. Could it be that the 1 point something wasn't an earthquake? It was an explosion underneath the ground, and they made it seem like it was an earthquake. Okay. A lot of things you see out here are being controlled opposition. They got ops all over the place. All these groups got ops. The ops will come to my group. You know, if I feel it, if I feel you're op, I'll just delete you, and then they'll probably talk about me online. Okay. Just I'd be mindful. And to the guys who are in the prison or in jail, stop giving your DNA because they're gonna hurt your families. When you give DNA for $50, if you really trying to make a difference, don't let them do anything. The fact that they have you in prison, they already have control of you. They have autonomy over your physical body, your outside body. Don't give them control over your inside of your body. Because you make everyone, your whole family, because if you share a DNA that's collective to your general area where you grew up, you then, when they get your DNA, they're going to weaponize some sort of bioweapon through the next shot, and then they're going to disperse it all through your neighborhood. Then you'll wonder why you come out and your homeboys are saying, hey girl. Okay, you're responsible for that. So be careful with that. Be careful who you allow to come in your group. I don't even say you can't trust anything because you don't even know if they're an NPC. You don't even know if they're real. You know what I'm saying? How do you even know they're real? They could be artificial intelligence. No, a lot of ops speak truth. That's what gets most people, because they're like, why are they sharing so much? But that's key. You wouldn't ever listen to someone who's telling you lies. It would be spotted too easily. They got to give you all truth, but they will personally, they will nicely omit certain information, like, or they'll give you a lot of truth and then they'll put that nice little bit right in there. You have to use your discernment because you can't tell. You can't tell all the time. Because like I said, they look like you, they act like you, they talk like you think it's you. It isn't. You got to go with your gut. I follow my gut 99% of the time now. If I feel it, I'll just remove them. Whether it's right or wrong, I got to go with my gut. Like back in the days, you let people in because you're trying to be politically correct. I won't be able to do that any longer because there's too many ops. They send them to your groups too. And they create coups. Like you'll get an op that'll come in your group and then they'll start talking and creating coups in your groups. You got to be careful with that too. Ops they're designed to come in and cause wreck. If someone's a real truth teller, and there's a few online, there's not a lot, but there's a few, they'll send people in to disseminate, like just to cause like ill will or make them questionable. Questionable. They've done it. They do it in my group all the time. That's the thing. You have a group. It's nothing you could do. The op will come in. You figure it out and you just remove them. But the op will usually get other people because that's how they work, and they'll create narratives that I remember. Listen, you can go to channels and they'll say things like, "Oh, FleurBrun does reading." I don't do readings. What kind of reading? This woman made a whole. Listen, I saw on a blog. This woman said I did a whole reading on her, and I sent devils to her. I was like, listen to the craziness they'll say about me. I never did that. I haven't ever had. First of all, I don't do readings. I don't even have that like that. I don't do readings. I've never done readings. That's not what I do. And then what she say? Then this woman said I made her jump timelines, and then she's been stuck ever since. Yo, I mean, they're crazy. If I don't like somebody, I just remove them. And when I remove them is usually when I say things. Yeah. Be seeing crazy things. I do some things, but not the things that are said online. I'm really private. My life is mostly private, Most of the things I do that would be dastardly isn't anything that would be on public media. Someone said they had naked pictures of me. I'm still waiting for them because I'm trying to keep the image. Listen, if you got naked pictures of me, show them, because I need to at least have some good pictures of me when I was young. I want you to show them. Remember the years ago, the girl said she had naked pictures. I was like, please show them. I need some good pictures of me, something to keep in the archives. When you're young, you want to have some good pictures of yourself. Show them. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I want the pictures out there. God, maybe I could have another channel. You know what I'm saying? Put the pictures out. I've been begging them for years. They won't show the naked pictures. They said I took naked pictures, you know. Unless they're in Polaroid. There may be a Polaroid or something out there. I don't know. Bring them out. I accept it. I'm going to post them on here myself. No, I'm just saying be careful with that. People can create narratives, and if someone doesn't know you, they'll believe it. I'm not even in the business of hurting people. I don't do things like that. I have too much of a life. I love my family. So when I come in here and I talk to you, that's it. When I go on Zoom, I talk to you. I don't have time. It's not even that. I don't care enough. Remember, I'm a Sag. I don't care enough to do things to y'all. That's the truth. And call it what it is. I don't care enough. I'm really just, when I'm offline, it's all about me and my life. I'm not gonna sit and do spells on people. Why would I do it? Now, if you doing some dastardly things and you get a ricochet, that's on you. That's my ancestors and my people and my galactic family giving you something back. But I don't care enough about anybody like that. I care about my family and my friends. I don't care enough. So if you ever hear anybody on any of these channels saying I'm doing stuff to them, that is a lie. That is a flat out lie. Tell them to show you proof. Tell them to show you that I'm doing something to them. And if they're telling you they have naked pictures, tell them to show it. I want the pictures. Show them, post them online. I'm okay with it. Post them. You have Polaroids too, Catherine? Yeah, show them. Like I said, I need some good pictures while I'm still young. If I don't, sometimes you need those pictures. I need the freaky pictures so I could post them. I don't have any good pictures of me. Yeah, show them. Yeah. If I'm doing spells on you, show the proof that I'm doing spells on you. If I had you locked in another timeline, show proof of that. And if you locked in another timeline because you following my crazy behind, that's all on you. Show. I always say, if they talking reckless about me, show me where it happened. People will make up things and everybody will believe it because someone said it. Show it. When you get to a certain age, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, nobody cared. Nobody cares about that. Yeah. I'm okay with it though. I'm the one person who will say if I have pictures like that. I remember I'm a certain age though too. We didn't have social media like that. Like, back in the days, the most someone could take is a Polaroid of you, right? If they took a picture of you now, it's on digital. But I'm of a certain age. It's not really something I would do, not overtly. You know what I mean? Now, if someone caught a picture, it's okay. Because if they caught a picture of me, it means I looked good. So show it. Half the time, y'all are seeing my boobies anyway. Show it. That's what I'm saying. It don't matter. The love of projecting. No, social media is crazy. You got to be careful with all the mind control programming. We have a whole bunch of frequency weapons that are being directed constantly. You're being bombarded with frequency weapons. So you got to be careful with your hair. I would say, like, if you go out, if you notice, like, I cover my hair as much as possible. Okay. Even when I trim my hair, I keep my hair, like, I try to keep my hair as covered as possible. Only time I don't is like if I'm at the beach and I'm somewhere else in another country. I'm not as concerned as much. But if I'm in the States, I try to keep my head covered. Yeah, because they trying to bombard me with frequencies. And I try to just make sure, I don't keep electronics like that. Why would I have a television? I haven't a television in my bedroom. I haven't ever had a television in my bedroom except when I was married. When I was married, because my husband had a TV. He wanted a TV in our room. But I haven't had a television in my room in, maybe like, 13 years? 13 years. I haven't had a television in my bedroom in 13 or 14 years, maybe 14 years. And I haven't used a microwave in, I haven't had a microwave in my house anymore, but I haven't actively used it. I say actively because we were away in Mexico. So one of the microwaves was used in the place we were staying, but I haven't actively used a microwave. I gotta be honest. I haven't actively used a microwave in Ooh, um, maybe 15 years, maybe. Yeah. So just, things like that. I hope you aren't using microwaves. Yeah, most of y'all aren't using microwaves, right? Stay away from microwaves. That should be off the table for you. Even if we discuss frequencies and things like that, using a microwave shouldn't be anything any of you use. I hope you aren't using that, right? Boredom brought you here? Wait, religion removes racism, said boredom. Really? You were bored? That's the only reason you came to me? You might be bored listening to me, boredom. That's so funny. I love honesty though. She said boredom is the only reason. That's the only reason you came to me. I love it. No, I love honesty like that. It's true. That to me is like, that's such a Sag thing. I love that kind of honesty because it's true. It's like sometimes you don't want to listen to people unless you're bored. That's funny. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna be tonight. We're gonna be on Zoom tonight. I'll do my predictions. I think either Sunday or Monday. It may be a week from now. Sometimes it's just a matter. I bring things organically, so it's like when I feel like, even now, like I won't come on because YouTube was being disrespectful. When YouTube is so disrespectful, I don't come on. Like I don't feel like I should even extend myself to their platform because I bring such. The platform is what it is because of people like me from back in the days. They're so disrespectful. Like the reason why YouTube even exists is because of true whistleblowers, and I'm not even a whistleblower. I just came from a certain sector. But people like me who really came on here who weren't being monetized or anything. Like that's how you know. That's what I'm saying. If they came on here before NBC, ABC, before they were being monetized. That's how you know a lot of these people weren't coming on here. They weren't selling merch. Those are the people from back in the days. So it's like, that's how you know how real they are. They could have come from that sector, that time. Even with Carrie Cassidy, I had a problem with her, certain things for her holding back. But I will say this. I think it's disgusting how they removed her platform because she has a plethora of work. Now, I may not like her, certain things she may have done, but I have respect for her body of work. Like listen, Project Camelot, they got some creepy people out here, y'all. Project Camelot and Carrie Cassidy, hands down, they attack her. That's also how you know that she's real. They attack her. They attacked her channel. They removed her channel. I mean, she had a play. You talk about she has way more plethora of work than I do. Like that, because that's what she does. That's who she is. So I mean, interviews and everything. She was amazing. So like I said, it was a personal thing. I didn't like a video or two she made, but that doesn't take away from her body of work, though. It doesn't. They got rid of what's her name? Kelly Coffee. Kelly Coffee. They got rid of Kelly. They got rid of Kelly Coffee's channel. They got rid of John X Army. They got rid of a lot of real people. Kelly Coffee was the bomb. I'm gonna interview her. So y'all, I have a couple of interviews that I did so far, and that'll be on my channel, privately. Because of the things we talk about. They wouldn't even let us have because I like to have a free for all conversation. I don't really like to have to watch what I say. So I'll be posting those will be on my Tuesday Aquarius Rising shows. And then also, FYI, if anyone, I forgot to do this before. If anyone wants to be interviewed and you're an alien, listen to me. Because this is not for everyone. If anyone wants to be interviewed and you're alien or you have alien contact, and I will verify this, you can't just call me you can be on my Aquarius Rising show. Remember the Ninth Gate? I love my show. So that's coming back. But if you want to be interviewed, you can contact me on my email and say you want to be. Please don't come on and say that you're a contact, because then you'll get offended. This is only for those who are contactees or you are an alien. When I say alien, means that you're from another planet, you're a shapeshifter, you're from another firmament, whatever. I will interview you, but I'm going to talk to you first, okay? please don't contact me and say that you are, and then I talk to you and then you get offended because I'm like, you're not really a contactee. It's only those who are contactees, just be respectful of my time. Because remember, when I'm not on here, I don't do this, but I want to interview those on my show. So Aquarius Rising Ninth Gate is coming back. The interviews, I already did some. If you want to be interviewed and you're an alien, I'm going to call you. It's going to be the bomb. It's going to be like before. So it's amazing. So if you want to come on the show and that's something that but don't make up stuff because you're talking to the right one. And then you're going to get ricochets and you're going to be mad at me saying I'm putting spells on you. If you come to me, you got to keep it real. The way you want me to keep it real with you, you need to keep it real with me. If you want to just talk to me and have a personal conversation and ask, no, that's only if you about that life. Okay, so if you do, contact me. You know my email, it's in the description. You contact me and we'll set it up. Okay, so we can start really unveiling, because first of all, we have a lot of new beings here, and we're going to talk about the being that I was in contact with. That being that's the new being that just I had contact with the cone head. That came from one of our sea stars. So we're going to discuss that too, but that'll be fun. So Aquarius Rising is coming back. If you want to call in, it's not an open forum show like that, but you can call in if you're a contactee. I want to keep it, and it's not about people who have dreams, okay? Dreams, no. It has to be full-on contact. Why? Is because a lot of people want to talk about the dreams. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want people who are contactees, not people who have dreams about contact. I need real contactees, or those who perceive themselves to be aliens or shapeshifters. Those are the ones first. We can do other things later, but those are the ones I'm going to take for the interview for Aquarius Rising. So if you are that, if you about that life, and remember, I have ways to verify. Remember, you may not think I'm a contactee until we talk. I'll know if you are, if you aren't. That's one thing. If you want to play and act like you are, and then I talk to you and you aren't, and I don't want to do an interview, then don't get mad, okay? You're all shapeshifters too, yeah. Simply working pineapple. Druk? No, not everybody's a shapeshifter. People have the capability if they're real people, and it depends on their bloodlines. There are Cabbage Patch children here that are hybrid, non-biological people that come from generations of like test tube people. So mud flood babies, they haven't any capability. Their DNA is broken. They don't have their abilities aren't online. So I disagree. Not everybody can shape it. A lot of real people, if their DNA is non-broken and healthy, yes, they have the ability through their pineal gland, but there are a lot of people whose pineal gland isn't active. I miss you too, Sensei. What are you doing? We gotta talk, Sensei. It's been a while, right? So if your pineal gland isn't active and it's atrophied, how could you shapeshift? You couldn't. So I agree, there are a lot of people who can, that are real people who have an active DNA strand, but if they have broken strands, they aren't able to. There's a lot of mud flood test tube people that are hybrids that are here. They're generations of, that's why they aren't able to give birth to any more children, because they're hybrids. Their DNA is broken. It's like having clones, like clones of clones of clones. Clones haven't the ability like original people. Okay, clones, people who are replicated people made in like the mud flood, that are made in that are genetically homogenized people, their DNA, they're only able to have offspring like maybe one generation or two at most. That most of them are null and void. They don't have active DNA. Not everybody's the same. We got to stop doing that too. Not everybody has the same abilities. There are people here that aren't even real. These are fillers, like NPCs. They're like holographic people. They aren't even real. Whether they know they're real or not, I don't know. We could be NPCs for all we know. There are people that are fillers. Then there are beings here that are on people's bodies. Like they're on, like they look like, those are shapeshifters. They look like one being, but they aren't real. They're like beings or species that's sometimes it's on top of a biological body. So they're like infused, like on their overlays. You know what I mean? That, remember the gray overlays when the ladies were giving the massages? They would see overlay grays on people, like projecting themselves outside of their bodies. There's those. Um, there's reptilian breeds. But again, if we're, if we're in a holographic system and this is a simulation, you got to think sometimes you're seeing a projected being in here that's coming from another species. So you see them as a gray or a reptilian, because really outside the firmament, outside of here, they are those beings. Yeah. So not everybody's the same. It's okay to be different. We aren't clones. You want to be a clone, a replica? Like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj all looking alike. All those shape-shifting surgeries. Everybody wants to look alike. They want to all have the snuffleupagus eyelashes. They want to all put on the same clothing. They want to have the same body form. They want to look like ants getting those what is it? BBDs, what is it called? Brazilian butt lift. Okay, BBLs. I'm sorry. They got those BBLs. They look like ant people. I really think maybe they are ant people outside of here. They might be bugs. That's why they like to look like bugs, because when they get the surgery, they look like bugs, like ant beings. Go watch Mars Needs Moms. Look at those beings. They look like those beings. They look interesting. Yeah. I think maybe they're ants. Maybe that's why they want to get the surgery. So they want to look like more of what they look like outside the firmament. It could be that. Maybe I'm criticizing them, but maybe it's because they want to look more like what they look outside of here. So maybe they're ant beings and they want to look more like ants. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why they get the snuffleupagus eyelashes, because they look like spiders. Maybe they're insects. You know what I mean? We don't know what kind of beings. They might be wanting to look more like what they are. We like, even when I went and woke up out of the pod, the woman had testicles and a penis. So maybe all this so-called transsexual, all these crazy things that are happening in this firmament is because the beings, when they're outside the pod, they actually look like that. I'm just saying, I told you years ago that Kim Kardashian was a bug. And ever since I told you, look at all the things she's been associating herself with. Spiders. She made a whole Halloween house of spiders. She told you she's been dressing like a bug for the last 4 years. When I said it to y'all, you totally said I was crazy. You were like, FleurBrun, stop making these things up. They don't exist. And now you think I'm bugging out? Bugging out. She's dressing like a bug. I tell you, I know things, and you think I'm joking. People think I'm crazy. It is what it is. I'm crazy until it shows up, right? And then I'm telling the truth, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, there's beings here that are literally other entities, other kind of species, and they're all here. So, you got to be careful. And then you got holographic beings. Because AI can project anything. That's where all the agents come from, too. You got holographic beings. And they're showing up here. And they're, Agent Smiths, like the Willy Wonka, he can incept. Like, just like in the Matrix, they can put a Smith in any group. They could put a Smith anywhere. If you have a lack of discernment, remember the woman said, this mother freaker is not real. Remember she was on a plane? At first I thought it was a psyop, but what if she really saw? Because remember, she disappeared. And then they tried to bring a double of her that didn't even look like her. Remember that? They brought a double of her. So then they tried to present us. She didn't respond. She disappeared. She was really scared. Like, they showed other footage. And then all of a sudden, when she comes back, it looks like a whole different girl. It's just like that girl the first nurse who got the shot. What's her name? What was her name? What was her name? Remember the shot that passed out? What was her name? Who's coming on here? Ray Cow. What'd you say? I'm not going to comment. Y'all already know. The question is, who were they married to before? Who were they married to before? I guess it doesn't matter, right? I don't trust anyone who's promoting themselves as one thing and they live absolutely the opposite. I just don't. Y'all already saw I fell off the wagon with Starbucks, right? Y'all are late to the party. You already know. You know when I fall off the wagon, it's the first day I did it. No, it's not. It's like the second or third day. Yeah. I fell off the wagon, Catherine. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do well, but I'm in this firmament. I don't listen. I could be so much worse. I could be a sexual addict. I could be chiefing every day. I could be snorting up mushrooms and all kinds of cocaine. I could be doing a whole lot of things. You know, I'm not on Ozempic because I would be like, okay, so yeah. Occasionally I do that, and it is what it is. I mean, the firmament is about to explode. It won't. There won't be any more Starbucks in a minute. Oh, there won't be any more Starbucks in a minute. So don't worry. It's like short lived. Oh, yeah. They act like they're terrible for you, but it really makes me believe it makes Tiffany. Anyway, mother freakers will pretend that they're pro something and they will listen. How I know who somebody is who they marry. That's how I know. If someone tells me they're conscious, but their wife or husband is totally unconscious and dressing like a prostitute and giving conscious awards, no shade. I'm just saying, I don't tell you. I'm not someone who's giving awards for people being conscious. I'm not celebrating blood rugs, red rugs, like the red carpet that represents blood. Why would I say I'm conscious giving conscious awards and giving awards on a bloody rug, like representation? If I'm so conscious and I'm really an occult master, how would I have a red carpet event when I know that represents blood? Why would I be a conscious person giving conscious awards? I'm not doing it because you already know I'm not love and light. I got all kinds of idiosyncrasies, but nor am I giving you awards for being conscious when everyone who's getting awards isn't conscious. Nor would I be saying I'm a conscious person and I'm the deliberator and the judgment of consciousness when the very thing that I say is conscious, it's like me being married and my husband showing up with 50 million outfits, like if we're on a real award show and dressed like a prostitute when we're supposed to be embodying spirituality. And, I'm just saying, call me a hater. Just what I'm saying. I'm not a lover and lighter, but nor am I giving awards on an award show that isn't award worthy. Or changing the letters in my name so that you don't find out my criminal background. I don't know who I'm talking about, though. I'm sorry. I just fell off. I'm sorry. You won't hear me saying congratulations to anyone like that. Okay? Call it shade or not shade. It is what it is. You know what I mean? All of a sudden that person's a testimony of aliens when they're in contact with grays. And the only grays that people are in contact are governmental grays. I don't know. But I'm not someone you should believe. Because remember, I'm crazy. I'm the one who put people in different timelines, right? And got them stuck. I'm the one who's spelling people. Remember they said I'm spelling people? I'm spelling people all the time. Yeah, I'm putting spells on people. I'm ruining people's lives. Someone said I gave them herpes by just removing them from my group. I had the ability to give them herpes because I removed them from my group. From being non-loyal and being messy, I gave them herpes. This is the kind of things that's crazy, y'all. Yeah, no, they said I gave them herpes. They said because I removed them from my group, from being messy and being diabolical, I removed them from my group, but I gave them herpes because they were removed from my group. This is the type of things that people will say online. How do you give someone herpes from removing them from your group? Don't you have to have herpes from the beginning? Hey, Jamoji, I was just talking about you, Jamoji. Hey, Jamoji. Yeah, I don't know. I get accused of doing things, but hey, Mama. Yeah, I get abused all the time. For accused, no abused, not abused. Gratefully, it's just I get accused of doing things that I haven't ever done, and I always say fact check it. If someone accuses me of doing a fact, tell them to show you proof. Okay. Remember when the whole thing happened with Offset and people said, "Oh my God, FleurBrun, what did you do?" Listen, I just told you what happened. I told you the truth. And then later on, you see that I was actually telling the truth. Like, what happened to those people who did those dastardly things to me and lied? What happened to them? Did I do that to them or did they do that to them? Okay. What'd I do? It's windy outside. All right, y'all. I start talking really low, talking kind of diabolical. I've been on here too long. I got off topic. All right, y'all. I'm gonna be tonight on Zoom. Okay, I'll do the 2024. I'll do the 2024 predictions. I like doing them. I have a great way of doing it. We'll see. Um, Alex, hey, Alex, PC. Alex, how you doing here? Remote herpes. Yeah, I thought that was the most humorous one though. Like I haven't ever been. I've been accused of a lot of things, but giving someone herpes online, that's the first. That's the first I've ever been accused. Yeah. Then you had people talking about me losing babies as if that's a good thing to talk about. Talking about losing babies, talking about my babies. Yeah. People are just it's weird things. People trying to find out where I live so they can attack me. It's crazy thing. Online has a lot of weird things going on. All I do is share. I'm not bothering you. I don't go to anybody else's channel. If I don't like someone, I don't go to their channel. That's how you know people suffer from mental illness. They obsess with me. They'll say to people they don't like me. They'll talk disparaging about me, but then they're on my channel, like obsessed. It's crazy. And that's why mental illness is on its highest level because back in the days, if you didn't like someone, you just didn't mess with them. Like I'm from New York originally, right? So if I didn't like you, I wouldn't go on your block. I wouldn't hang out with you. I wouldn't even hang out with people you hang out with because I don't like you. I'm old school in that. Maybe that's a kind of mindset. I'm old school in that way. Like if I don't like you, I don't want to hang out with, and I wouldn't hang out. Listen, if someone talks, like if I have a friend who I'm close to, if someone was talking dirty about my friend, I wouldn't be friends with them because I wouldn't even allow someone to talk about my friend all grimy. Like as soon as you start talking grimy about my friend, we aren't friends because I have loyalty like that. Is this online arena is full of like falsettos. Like it's set up to create narratives that are negative a lot of times, not always, but it's set up for catfishing and also for demonizing people who are more legitimate. It's set up like that. And it's not just me because I'm smaller in this arena. I'm kind of like in my own genre. So it doesn't matter because for me, I'm in my own genre. I don't promote myself, nor do I want to. I'm here for the shenanigans. I've been here for a long time. But for like other channels, I think it's cruel how you'll see that like they will attack other channels like and make up the most just lies or dox them, put out their personal information on where they live so that people can hurt their children or their families. Like I've seen that a lot of times and I'm like, oh wow, like it's to a whole, the ethics and morality online is just literally zero. It's really quite sad. You know what I mean? So be careful online too. Be careful with these people. You know what I mean? Just if you aren't able to verify them, you don't even know that they're real. They could literally be part of the AI system too. You don't even know if the people on here are real. Sometimes AI will send things. So you can't, that's what I'm saying. It's nice to do meet and greets because you meet people, because I was doing that before, but I don't really have incentive to do that. I told you my next conference will be in Brazil because I'm gonna let the ETs verify people. Yeah, my next conference will be in Brazil. I don't know when, but definitely in Brazil because I think it's just a magical place. A lot of the content that I had in Brazil is off the charts, and they aren't regulating the ETs like that. So the next um the next meet and no, not meet and greet, the next conference is definitely going to be in Brazil. It'll be in South America. I don't know when. I don't know when, but it'll be then. I'm excited about that. I don't know if it's got to be pre-pole shift or post-pole. Well, I'm having the VIP post-pole shift party. And if you're alive and still living in physical body outside this firmament or in, you're going to be invited to the VIP party, the pole shift. Oh, that'll be fun. The balance of what you bring energetically, what you have. Let's see. It's the balance for what you bring energetically above and below. For all kinds of get enveloped with the orbit, your essence, merge with them and transmute it. Well, thank you, Cece. Sometimes I like to be a little messy, Cece. That's all it is. You want to go to Brazil, Casey? Yeah. I'm going to have the next conference. I think it's nice. I would really, it'll be beautiful. So, and I love another eye drop choice, not Merlin. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be an amazing it'll be an amazing time. I wanted to do it. I think I wanted to do it last year, but I'll have the conference. It takes me a while. I just have to remember, for me to create it, it takes me a while to do it because I do it on my own, but yeah, it'll be out of this world. Yes, it will. Anyway, y'all. So I'm out of here. You can join us tonight on Zoom. We'll be on in the next, how many hours? We'll be on in the next, oh, it's 4 p.m. Central here. So we'll be on in about 3 hours. I need to get something to eat. Yeah. I'm going to grab something to eat. I got to, you know what? Has anyone ever found, you know what I want? I know it's not the season for breadfruit, but does anyone know where to get breadfruit? I love breadfruit. Oh, that's the only thing I miss in Florida. I love roasted breadfruit. I need to find a place where I can get breadfruit. They don't do breadfruit in a lot of places. You know what I mean? Um, if anybody knows where to get breadfruit, that'd be great if you know. Because I'd order it. I know it's not good to get fruit that's from somewhere else, but I crave breadfruit so much. So delicious, and it's so high in like magnesium, potassium. So good. Ugh, you know? So 3 hours will be on Zoom. You can check how to get onto Zoom via the description. It's in there. If you want to join, you don't have to. I talk to you guys a lot, so you won't ever hear me push. If you want to come on Zoom, it's fun. But if you do want to be interviewed and you are an extraterrestrial or a time traveler, or you are someone in contact with another being, these are all have to be verifiable. Definitely contact me by goddessdell@gmail.com. So GHADDESSDELL@gmail.com. So you can be on my show, Aquarius Rising, the Ninth Gate. It's like my remix. And they may have it prepackaged at a natural grocery store. I tried. I haven't seen the I tried to get it. I haven't seen it where I am. I crave it this time of year. In Florida, I could get access to breadfruit so much easier. Big up to my Floridians, you know? I love breadfruit. And like during this time of year, I like to grill it. Oh, I like to grill it and then cook it on both sides and then have it like as like next to, like I'll have that with like little fresh mango. So good. Anybody who hasn't tried it, so good. Maybe it's a Caribbean thing, but it's so tasty. The government hates you too? Yeah, I'm not on their list. They put me on a note. They put me on a they put me on a they flagged me on a flight list. They finally did it. They did it before, but I didn't know. But now they put me on a flight list. They literally tagged me, y'all. I'm on the flight list where they, I don't know when they did it, but when now, every single time, and I paid for a different type of entry to go in, they put me on a list, on a flight list. So when people tell you I'm fake, well, apparently the government is putting a lot of stress on people who must be fake then, because that pissed me off though. So I try not to fly anywhere on any American Airlines anymore. Anyway, all right, y'all. I will see you tonight. Can't stop, won't stop. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Heru. Heru's on. Heru's going to be on tonight. What's good? We'll talk about the affairs that's going on. And also we'll talk about tonight the list. Epstein's list. Oh, it's going to be exciting. Yeah. All right, y'all. So I will see you tonight. Mwah. Be safe, be conscious, and be at peace. You know what I mean? Bring peace in your life, okay? So anyway, y'all, I will talk to you later. Peace.